Hello everyone, welcome to the 2024 Joeys. I'm going to give some awards. Stay tuned. So I have been kind of pursuing this as a hobby now for just a little under 2 years, and I started making videos about this, I think it's a little over a year ago. I've got just over a year under my belt now on YouTube, and I don't want to do like a award for last year or anything like that. I kind of want to just do a collective kind of way to recognize fragrances that have made an impact on me in my time thus far. So that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to just go through. I made up some categories to give awards, and I just want to highlight some fragrances. I do have one. I'm going to start off with one negative one, but apart from that, everything else will be positive, and just to kind of share the stuff that's made the biggest impact on me so far. All right, starting off with the first award is going to be the most disappointing blind buy. Obviously, they can't always be winners, and you know, this is why everyone you watch will tell you to sample before you buy, because sometimes you buy stuff and you're not a fan of it. As I've mentioned before, I'm still okay with blind buying stuff that I end up not liking, because I use that as an opportunity to try and expand my repertoire. I have been hitting up against a dead wall with the #1 winner, which is Veritas's Vanilla Oud. So unfortunate, because I know that so many people love this one, and it's weird because, like, again, this is one of those ones where it's not difficult, or it's not like a terrible smell for me. It's so powdery. It's so powdery. I'm not wild about powder, so it just kind of becomes choking on me after a while. But that being said, I like it more than when I first smelled it. I've still been trying to come around on it. I use this as an opportunity to try and mature my nose. So that one takes the winner. But second place, again, this one makes me sad. You know, the reason why these ones win, I have lots of fragrances that I've blind bought that are crappy. The reason why I'm highlighting these ones is because I really had high hopes. So the runner-up is unfortunately Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal, not Extreme, the EDP. So L'Homme Ideal EDP is my runner-up for most disappointing blind buy. This one, again, I've been coming around on it more, but still am not wild about it. And I actually had very recently a very unfortunate circumstance with this one, where I was taking my dog for a walk, and my dog did what dogs normally do, and as I was going to clean it up with a bag, I did that, and I caught kind of a smell, and I was like surprised. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I'd bought like the scented, you know, dog dew bags, and caught a couple more whiffs over it. And then it wasn't until like 20 minutes later I realized, oh no, I'm actually just catching smells of this on the back. It's just an unfortunate thing for me with cherry. I used to work in maintenance, so this smells like a lot of like bathroom cleaners and stuff like that to me. Sucks, because there's aspects of it that I like. There is kind of that milky almond, but that cherry just kind of drives it into bathroom air freshener to me. So it's unfortunate, but there are the two most disappointing blind buys for me. All right, next up is the Special Place in My Heart Award. I'm giving this one to fragrances that I think are really good, but that they made some sort of a huge impact on me early on. And I don't know how I could not give this one to Azzaro's The Most Wanted. This fragrance was the one that was sent to me originally as like a part of an influencer thing. Azzaro never knew I existed, I think. Probably still doesn't, but this is such an amazing scent to smell. I love it. I still love it. I do think that I like a recent pickup that smells a lot like it a little bit more, which is Strong With You, absolutely. But I do think that this is an absolutely beautiful scent. It made a huge impact on me. When I first smelled it, I was just kind of like floored, and it's the whole reason why I got into this. So congratulations to Azzaro, The Most Wanted Parfum. Excellent fragrance. The runner-up for me in that category would be La Yucawam Pour Homme. This one for me, early pickup, and I had never smelled a proper leather fragrance. I've only smelled like the car trees or something like that, or some other fragrance that says that it's leather. But this, when I first smelled it, I know that it's a clone of Tuscan leather. It just floored me. I'd never smelled photorealistic leather like this before. Immediately became one of my favorite notes. And I just love leather. I think it's such a cool thing that in this day and age, we can actually have fragrances that smell this realistic to like walking into like a leather boot shop. Anyway, so I love Yucca Wom. Just caught me by surprise immediately, and it's ever since then, I'll always love it. Okay, next up is going to be Holy Crap Car Company, You Did Not Have to Go That Hard award, which is for car companies. You know, a lot of them, most of them have fragrances. I think they're just kind of lost leaders to get you to buy some merch from them, but some of them take it really seriously, and they release some absolute bangers. And though this is not the most hyped from the house, I do have extra special respect for it, so I'm going to give the award to Mercedes-Benz for Men. This was their first release from the house, and the reason why I'm giving this one credit is because as I've talked about before on the channel, I think that it does such an amazing job. I think that it is so on brand for a car fragrance. It's got this petroleum note, it's got this fresh air, it's like driving with your car window down. It's just fresh, lovely, masculine. It smells amazing. So I absolutely think Mercedes-Benz, probably #1 car manufacturer in the game that's making fragrances that absolutely slap. So credit to them for that. First runner-up is also going to be one from them. I thought about not giving it to them, but it's just so good. Mercedes-Benz Club Black. It's just so good. The warm, spicy vanilla. This smells better than a lot of like niche fragrances, and it's a car fragrance. It seems like maybe the lowest to respect kind of fragrance out there, and it absolutely rocks. Second runner-up, I'm going to acknowledge Bentley, because I think Bentley is the other car manufacturer that's going the hardest. And though they have a whole bunch, I do want to recognize Black Edition from the Bentley for Men Bentley for Men line. Mainly because I think this whole line is pretty amazing. I think they're all pretty incredible fragrances, and the other ones like this one don't get enough love, but they are absolutely worth checking out. So congratulations to Mercedes-Benz and Bentley for making some really banger fragrances. Okay, next up, I wanted to have a category for kind of fresher fragrances. Fresh fragrances get talked about in the spring and the summer, but I feel like they don't get a lot of respect. I think that's typically because you can do fresh fragrances fairly cheaply. But I do think that there are fresh fragrances out there that warrant special attention. So I'm calling this award the I'll empty this bottle in one day, just watch me award. And the winner of that is going to be, hold on, I have to take it out of its fun little hat box. The winner for that one's got to obviously be Fico di Amalfi from Acqua di Parma. It is such an amazing fragrance. I mean, I love this one so much. I will always have a bottle of this on hand. I plan to explore the house a lot more this year because this one for me is just one of those fragrances. I will never get tired of this. I will never be done smelling it. And everyone who smells it, it's just like the perfect spring summer scent. I think if I had to have just one spring or summer scent, it would probably be Fico di Amalfi, because it's just that incredible. So, Acqua di Parma Fico di Amalfi, congratulations. The I will spray this in one day bottle, or one day, just watch me bottle award. Two runners up for this category. The first runner up is going to be a fragrance that's got a special place in my heart. I wore this for my outdoor wedding reception post-COVID, and that is Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Italian Love. This one for me, I remember when I first smelled this in an Ulta and it knocked my socks off. I love grapefruit, and this to me was just such a photorealistic grapefruit. You know, it's got that bitterness, but it also kind of had this like vetiver, grassy underpinning. Vetiver is one of my favorite notes. You put those two things together and you just have an incredible fragrance. As you can tell, I've burned through a decent amount of the bottle, and I will continue to. I gotta use it sparingly though, because it is, you know, obviously a limited edition flanker, so it's gone, but I'll cherish it to the last drop. It's great stuff. And the second runner-up for the Freshie Award here is going to go for Hugo Reversed. I know Hugo Reversed is one that people often describe as kind of like a cheap man's Elysium from Raja Parfums. I have Elysium, I love it, I think it's an incredible scent. I can see kind of what they're talking about, but I don't think it actually is very similar to Elysium. I think this does its own thing, and I think if you were to tell me, hold a gun to my head and tell me to describe it, the best way that I can is to say that it smells like cyber sherbet. So if you take like orange sherbet or something like that and you just put a layer of like cyber over it, that's kind of what it strikes me of. It's not super realistic, but it's not like just a synthetic mess. It actually smells quite lovely. I love this one a lot. Usually if I wear it, I'm doing it like one spritz before the gym or something like that, just as like a nice fresh thing to wear. So easy dumb reach, Hugo reversed. All right, next up is the Make Me Want to Be a Better Man award. And what I'm thinking of this fragrance, or what I'm thinking about for this award, is kind of the fragrance that when I smell it, it makes me want to, it makes me aspire to want to be more than I currently am. Either want to dress up for it, makes me want to go to an event so that I have an excuse to wear something that I feel is warranted. So to that end, I think number one, it's got to be Pacha de Cartier Parfum. From Cartier. This is just such a stunner. Every time I smell it, it just smells like an opulent, fancy event. There's this sweet, resinous benzoin in there that is just so alluring, masculine. It's just, this is kind of the all fragrance to me. It smells so good, but it also smells like something that can't be cheapened by, you know, just like a beach day. Like, it smells like something that you want to save and wear for something special, because it commands that kind of attention. So amazing. Pacha de Cartier. First runner up is my other favorite jaw dropper, L'Homme Idéal Extrême from Guerlain. The contrast to the EDP, the reason the EDP was on the list of most disappointing is because of the existence of the Extrême. The Extrême swaps out that cherry for a plum note, and it makes all the difference for me. This is one of my absolute favorite fragrances. This to me is like sitting in a very fancy library, in a big leather chair, maybe with a cigar in your hand that's not lit. It's just so classy. And this one has gotten me a lot of compliments. I don't get very many compliments because I work from home, so it's very rare. But this one seems like if I wear it, I get compliments on it. And there's a reason. It smells insanely good. So, but it does also make me want to dress up. It's another one of those ones where I feel like I need to meet it at its level. It doesn't come down to your level. You've got to meet it at its level and dress up and class up a little bit to fully embrace the scent. All right, and the last runner up here, I just kind of wanted a way to recognize this one because I feel like it's in the category, but it's not quite as hardcore as those ones, and that is Creation E, or Enigma, from Roger Parfums. This one for me, Enigma is a great word for it, because I think it's so rich. There's so much things, so many smells going on with it, that when people catch a whiff of it, there's so many different things that they can catch onto, grab with their nose. And so for me, the reason this one doesn't take the place is because it's less of an aspirational fragrance and more that it makes me feel like I must be more when I wear it. So I put it on, and then I just kind of feel like I need to be a little bit more mature, take things a little bit more seriously. It has kind of a vintage element to it, but it also has this like cola note to it. It's just all of these contradictions in scent, and these layers of richness that are absolutely stunning. Again, this is one of my favorites from the house that I've smelled so far. I would love to smell some of the new stuff, but if only thing I ever smelled from the house was Creation E or / Enigma, I would not be sad. This is a great scent. All right, next up, I'm going to give an award for Sexiest Performance. People talk about panty droppers and stuff like that all the time. I'm completely disinterested in those. I'm happily married, so I'm not interested in trying to use scent to catch a woman or anything like that. That being said, I do think that there are fragrances that have alluring qualities to them, and the winner wins by a mile because of how much it taught me and how much I love it. That's Byredo's Tobacco Mandarin. This is one I'm going to be talking a lot about coming up this year on my channel. I've got lots of big plans for it. This is such a special fragrance to me. It's this, you got tobacco, you got the mandarin, so you got the ashy tobacco with this like sweet, syrupy orange as well. What they don't talk about is this huge dose of cumin in it, and that kind of brings this sweaty element to it. But deep underneath all of this is this kind of like clean, I think it's neroli, something in there that gives it kind of this like vague soapy element to it that acts as kind of a vibe. So it gives it this like clean vibe. So even though you're getting this kind of sweaty, ashy fragrance, there's this element of cleanliness underneath it that all of it together just makes it this like captivating scent. Everyone who smells it, their immediate reaction is to go, oh, ooh, 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 and which is exactly what mine was. I was just in a Nordstrom going through smelling stuff I'd never smelled before, and I came across this one. Blew my socks off, and I think that it's probably the sexiest thing that a woman could ever wear. That being said, I think it is completely unisex, man or woman. I just think it'd be sexier for a woman. So, Byredo Tobacco Mandarin, sexiest thing I've ever smelled. Number 2 on that list, though, still very good, would have to be Dolce & Gabbana's The One. And I have the EDP here, though I think the DNA works for the One Royal Night, also works for the EDT. They all kind of have a similar vein. This is one for me that when I smelled it, I immediately picked up on what they were putting down, immediately thought, wow, that's really, really, really alluring, attractive. Unfortunately, I have not had that experience. My wife, not a huge fan of it. Most of the women that I've had smell it don't pick up on that element of it. They don't think it's very alluring. Fine, but I do. I think it's a very attractive, beautiful scent, and it's one of the ones early on when I smelled it that it just captivated and kept me focused on it for a really long time. So congratulations to The One, and even bigger congratulations to Tobacco Mandarin from Byredo. All right, next up is the I Want to Be Cozy Award, and this is for fragrances that I just grab dumb reaches, that I just love them because they just make me feel warm. They make me feel like I'm wrapped in a warm blanket, and the winner for that one has got to be 1 Million Lucky. I know a lot of people, this is kind of a basic selection, 1 Million Lucky, but for me, it's one of those ones that when I smell it, just knocks my socks off. Wish More in the line was like this. The plum note, again, I love plum as a note. So beautiful in the air. This is just when it diffuses, you get this kind of honey nut Cheerio thing going on. All of it very warm, sweet, and inviting. Very good. Second, or I guess first runner-up, no, not first runner-up, the actual just runner-up for that would be Modern from Banana Republic, which is a fragrance that no one really talks about, don't really hear much about it. And it's like all of the best elements of a warm basket of laundry without just smelling like laundry detergent. It doesn't smell like laundry detergent, but it is one of the coziest fragrances. Like, this is to me like on the couch and someone just dumps hot laundry onto you, a warm basket of laundry, and you just kind of fall back asleep. That's what this feels like to me. It's like a warm blanket. Absolutely beautiful. Not talked about. I don't think many people know about it. You can get it dirt cheap. If you find it, check out Modern by Banana Republic. Let me know what you think. All right, next up, we are doing the most fun scent. This is one of my favorite categories because I love fun scents. I will give extra credit to a fragrance, even if it's not something that I feel like I can particularly wear, if it's a fun scent. But the winner in this case is both something that I think is infinitely wearable and also an amazingly fun scent. That is Mancera's Tonka Cola. You ain't ever gonna find me slouching on a cola scent. I love that as a note. Again, one of my favorites. And this is a cherry cola. This is like a Christmas morning. It's everything. It's like the spices, the sweetness, the richness. And I absolutely love it. I love wearing it. I love it in the air. It just makes you smile when you smell it. It's just a fun fragrance. It smells elegant though. It's not too youthful. It's everything. It's everything that you could want in a fragrance. So Mancera's Tonka Cola, absolutely most deserving, funnest fragrance. I know that's not a word, but it is the most fun fragrance from last year. Well, most fun fragrance I own. And runner-up is a fantastic fragrance that I truly love. I wear this one a lot too. I use this as my primary bed scent. That's Ariana Grande's Sweet Like Candy. In spite of the name, not cloyingly sweet. This is a very soft sweetness, but it's very fun. It is very candy-esque, but it avoids being just a simple, basic one-note thing. It's sweet like candy, but it's warm and it's inviting like candy. It's everything that you want when you hear sweet like candy. You know, you think about what does that mean, and this embodies that. It's an absolutely beautiful scent. So, like Ariana Grande fragrances typically, this one is also amazing. All right, the Professor Scent Award. This is the award that fragrances that taught me something. You know, there's a whole lot of fragrances that taught me something, but it's the first one that really taught me like one of the biggest things that I loved the most, which was Cowboy Grass from Diaz & Durga. Still to this day, I think it's probably my #1 in my collection that I own. I think this is such an amazing fragrance. The way that it kind of taught me about, you know, like learning to dig into a fragrance to discover hidden depths, because this has it. You know, it opens with this clary sage and with this vetiver that are very bright, the citrus that's very good. But deep down underneath it, it's got this kind of like gun oil, a little bit of leather, very thematically appropriate for the cowboy grass. And kind of the appreciation that I accrued over the course of learning about this fragrance for me, just really caused it to win over deep in my heart. So I understand that this fragrance means more to me than it means to other people as a result, but I can't avoid that. I absolutely love cowboy grass. I think it's a stunning scent. If I had to get rid of everything and keep only one fragrance, it'd probably be cowboy grass, and it'd probably be my signature scent, just because I think that it's versatile, it's beautiful, but it taught me a lot, and it's just so good. It's a great, if you are on the fence about some of the more dry, herbal, grassy fragrances, vetiver, things like that, cowboy grass is a great way to go. The first time I smelled it, I was like, not a fan, do not like. And then slowly over the course of that day, I just kept coming back for smells. And by the end of the day, I had felt like I'd discovered brand new depths to everything. Loved it, thought it was beautiful, won me over, and it taught me that I need to change my approach when it comes to smelling fragrances. And the runner-up, I've talked about it before already, but Mercedes-Benz for Men, I'm bringing it up again. It's maybe the third time it's coming up, but like I mentioned before, kind of learning that violet leaf, you can use that to create a watery scent, you can use that to create fresh air, you can use that to create a petroleum note. You know, it's one of those things that just was kind of like an astounding, amazing thing for me, and I think this fragrance does such a good job of showcasing like at least two of those aspects of it. It's a good reference fragrance, and I just think it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful smell. So it's a pleasure to learn from this one, and it's a fun one to show other people, because it's a really easy to understand lesson that this fragrance teaches. And when people get it, you can kind of see the glim in their eyes of, oh yeah, I do catch that. Wow, that's amazing. And they learn something, and that means something to them. And it kind of makes it stick with them. And it's more fun that way. I think this whole hobby is more fun when you're learning about stuff like this. So Mercedes-Benz for Men, such a good fragrance. You can get it for like 24 bucks, and it's one of the best out there. It may just be kind of, you know, referencing Fahrenheit from Dior, but still, it does it so well, and it's such an interesting fragrance. You got to check it out. All right, final award, and you know, I don't have like a best actor or best picture or anything like that, but I do want to kind of also highlight fragrances that the first time I smelled them, my jaw hit the floor. These are fragrances that are jaw-dropping from the first time I smelled them, and the winner for that one, you might have picked up on this based on how I was talking about it earlier, but Pasha de Cartier Parfum from Cartier. Again, it's just like, there's so much going on in this fragrance, and every bit of it is something that I want to latch onto. There is no aspect of this fragrance that pushes me away. There's no bitterness in the dry down that I don't love. Like, start to finish, this fragrance, the first time I smelled it, I was like, what the heck is that? And as I walked out of the Nordstrom and the rest of the day, as I kept catching whiffs, I was like, I have to have a bottle. I have to have a bottle. It is such a stunning fragrance, and there's nothing about it that I didn't want to keep smelling. So fitting that this one wins, Pasha de Cartier Parfum. Check it out. Number 2, and this might have even been in the same category earlier, but L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain. Again, this is just one of those ones where the first time I smelled it, I was like, wow, that smells so elegant. Like, that smells like high class to me. You smell it and it just smells fancy, rich, high class, elegant. And it was just kind of those ones where I'm like, I didn't realize that a fragrance could put me in this kind of a headspace this much, where I actually smelled it and I'm like, wow, I cannot believe that. That's an absolutely stunning fragrance. L'Homme Ideal Extreme, I know other people like others in the line more. This one for me, the combination of the almond, the plum, the tobacco, It's just perfect. It's absolutely just perfect. I love it. This is a top 3 fragrance for me for sure. Maybe a top 5, I'm not sure, but it's absolutely beautiful. And the second runner-up is going to be a cheapie. It's a cheapie that if you can find is excellent. It's actually, I think, a reference, they're making a reference here to an Hermes, but it's Banana Republic's 78 Vintage Green. I have talked about this one a lot on the channel, and I will continue to. I love this one so much. This to me is a great tea fragrance. This is like you have a bowl of cold water and you have tea leaves in it, and you just stick your face into it. Ice water with tea leaves in it. There's some citrus fruit hanging around in there. It's just so beautiful. It's just so refreshing and lovely, and I absolutely love this fragrance so much. First time I smelled it, I was just like, wow, I didn't realize that you could do that. And the other thing with this one too is, this is not what you would think of as a traditionally masculine fragrance, but it's also not what you would think of as a traditionally feminine fragrance. This fragrance, for me, I smelled it and I was like, wow, anyone could wear that. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyone could wear that. It's really stunning. So, love this one a lot. If you find it at a rack store, I would say pick it up because you can usually get it for under $30. It's 100% worth it. All right, so that is the 2024 Joey's. I appreciate you hanging out. It's probably a long video, but I hope you feel like it's been worth it. I love all of these fragrances. Again, this is not an exhaustive list. I have a lot more fragrances than these. There are some fragrances that I didn't talk about that I like more than some of these fragrances, but I just wanted to really highlight the ones here that I really love, that stood out to me, that made some sort of an impression on me in some way, shape, or form. And so I appreciate you staying with me and giving me the opportunity to share that with you. This year, kind of talking about how things are moving, I've mentioned it before, but this year I'm doing a lot more discovery. It's easy to blind buy a lot of bottles when they're, you know, under $20 and stuff like that. And if I only wanted to buy Latafas and Armoffs, I could just keep going with the clone stuff. But I'm getting more interested in the original creations. So this year I am going to be doing a lot more discovery sets, a lot more individual reviews. I want to find the stuff that's interesting to me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I hope you'll join me for the journey. Tell me, I know this is just bait for you in the comments, but I am genuinely curious, what stood out to you in the last year? What's grabbed your attention? What fragrance do you think about the most, or 3 fragrances do you think about the most from the last couple of years that have grabbed you? Tell me, and I'll join you in the comments. So you see, I'm always in there hanging out, chatting, so come join us in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Happy New Year.